Is there, Chris? What happens in that dressing room?
Now, I hope this is enlightening for many of the youngsters and parents who I would like them to pass this to their youngsters, to their children. I'm not going to talk so much of the changing room after that particular fight, which is the first one, but the second one, which was my last fight against Carl Thompson, of which again he got the decision because my eye was closed and they wouldn't let me carry on. So if we can go to that changing room. So it's my last fight, my 52nd fight, and I'm in the changing room having been stopped, or the referee not allowing me to go on because my eye was closed. This, for me, is the perfect way to close my career in what happened during this particular time or moments. So what happened was, I went back to the changing room. I promise you, I had no idea that cameras were fixed in the room and that Sky Television was watching everything that was going on in the changing room. I promise. Fixed cameras, okay. When I walk in to my changing room, there's a little boy, he must be about 6 or 7 years old. And this little boy said, "Chris, can I have an autograph?" My response is the perfect way to finish my career. My response is one of the highlights of my career. It's what I probably am most proud of. My response to the little boy. So if you take into consideration the fact that the judges had me ahead on all scorecards, I asked the referee for one more round. Wouldn't give it to me. If I felt that I was hard done by, I went to that changing room without knowing cameras were in that room watching a little boy who I would like to know who he is. I would like to find out who that little boy is. I'd like to meet that young man. How did he get access to coming straight after me and say, "Can I have your autograph?" And my response proves everything that everyone has ever said about me, which is in the negative or which is in a mocking way. It proves them wrong.
Fighters like Carl Thompson have profited from Chris Eubank's presence in the division, but for how much longer will Eubank be around? There he is. Is he selling an autograph? Maybe some friends and relatives.
To that little boy, I said, "Just one moment." My sister-in-law at the time came in and gave me a hug. I signed the autograph and I gave it to the little boy. I didn't berate the boy and I didn't tell him to leave the changing room. Or I didn't say, "How did he get in here?" Now, that, being a gentleman, especially when there's no one watching, especially, is what we have to move towards as a race of people.
So, Chris, you still don't know how that little boy got in the dressing room to this day?
No. You know, now he's going to be a 30-year-old. Yes, my calculation in terms of his age was correct. I'd very much like to be in touch with that young man. What was his perception? Because I signed it and I gave it to him. And I didn't tell him to go away. Or I wasn't angry towards him. Even if I was angry in myself, again, who are you? It's who you are when there's no one watching you. Be a gentleman when there is no one watching you. That's when you are a whole man, which is what we as the human species are all trying to actually attain.
Why did you choose Eubank Thompson 1 as the fight of your life?
As I said earlier, it was one of them, but it is one of them. If I'm speaking about something that I didn't win, and I'm telling you that I won, now you can see how I won. I acquitted myself well. Or perhaps the wise way to put it is as follows. When you win, you can lead. And when you lose, you can guide. And what are we? You know, we are humans going through this magic of life. And we have to pass back what we learn to the youngsters. We have to pass on what? You have to be a gentleman. It's great being a gentleman. It's wonderful being a gentleman. It is stupendous being a gentleman. It is magnificent to be a gentleman. Gentleman. And warrior is exactly the same thing.
Here's a question for you, Chris. I think you might have a couple of different answers. Did boxing make you rich?
Oh, I was always rich. Now, that could have been a reaction, so let me think about it. I've always been rich because I've always been a gentleman.
Chris, if there was anything that you could change that you've done in your career, what would it be?
That Michael Watson was not, that he wasn't made disabled by what happened in that fight. That's it. Winning and losing are imposters. Remember, we were talking about if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. You know, it's not winning or losing. I don't have any regrets about losing. Losing showed that I was a gentleman, even when they were saying that he's arrogant. Because I lost with grace. I lost with my eyes wide open and with my head held high. I didn't lose like a brat. I lost like a gentleman.
Chris Eubank, father, sporting icon, world champion, and gentleman.
No respect.
From Spencer and myself, thank you so much for being with us on Fight for My Life.
I've shivers going through me, you giving me those superlatives. Shivers, thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate you.
This has been Fight for My Life.